Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Hope you guys had a good Monday. If you probably traded in the markets, or if you traded all day in the markets, I would probably guess that you didn't. Absolutely choppy day. We saw pretty much the market, Tesla, Meta, the majority of the stocks holding range. We did see a couple semiconductor stocks pulling back to the downside. But other than that, pretty much as predicted, we saw that choppy open, um, and just really no continuation in either way. Which bank holidays, if you want to mark your calendar for next year, maybe, right? Maybe it's not a terrible idea to mark out a calendar in the future. Go buy a calendar for next year and mark it out. On days that you obviously didn't do that well. All right, so let me go alert, let everybody know I'm going live one last time. And we'll go ahead and get to it here. So, all right. All righty. How's it going? Good evening. Good evening. What's going on, everybody? If you're just hopping in the live, we're going to go ahead and get started. As per usual, we're going to go over some of the top news. We're going to go over the economic data for tomorrow. We're going to go over any potential earnings. We're going to go over Tesla. We're going to go over Meta. I also want to take a look at PayPal, as it did end up pulling back towards the end of the day. And if that's all you're here for, that is my watch list as of tomorrow. Meta, Tesla, and of course PayPal, which has just been added to the list here as of right now. So MRO, naturally, right? We want to keep an eye on this one. We might end up getting stomped out of this trade. We're still green on both sides of the trade, but here we go. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look here. We saw overall, we saw the S&P down 0.75%. Let me move this really quickly. So anyway, so we saw the S&P down 0.75%, the Nasdaq 1.04%, the Russell, we saw that down 0.60%. We saw the Dow Jones down 0.32%. Couple of top things here. 4 out of 11 sectors were green, with consumer staples 0.36 and energy 2.05% to the downside. In economic news, the third largest railroad union rejected its deal with freight railroads, renewing the possibility of a strike. Global PC shipments fell 15% year over year in the third quarter, with Apple the only manufacturer to see its shipments rise 0.40%. Excuse me. Merck rallied 3% after the company said its therapy has gained through its $11.5 billion acquisition of Acceleron Pharma, met the main goal in its study. Rivian fell 7% after recalling nearly all of its vehicles over a safety issue. Uh, that's an interesting article right there. Anyway, so um, a couple things here. A couple other things here. DWAC declined another 5%. As predicted, vote to delay its merger with Trump Media was postponed another 3 weeks. Five9 plummeted 25% after its CEO announced his resignation to become the CEO of a venture-backed pre-IPO startup. Anyway, a lot of recession calls coming in today. We also saw that Kathy Woods today disagreed with the Fed's approach towards monetary policy and argued that more significant risk to the U.S. economy is not rapidly rising inflation, but actually deflation. Today, she released an open letter to the Federal Reserve, doubling down on the view and sharing some stats to support it. I'm not going to go into the entirety of this thing. If you guys want that article, I can hand it over to you. Just shoot me a DM on the Discord. So, really quick update. If you guys are on YouTube and you lose your membership, everything, the price has changed. Just go to the website. As you guys can see, it's now 65 and 70, 720 yearly. So that has changed. So just a reminder, do not sign up for the yearly unless you have the discount code, which is for 25% off. All right, so let's move forward. That's pretty much it as far as the news is concerned. A couple other headlines we'll cover tomorrow. Um, let's see. So we are moving into October 11th, and we are going to be looking at really a data-free day. We do have NFIB Small Business Index coming in, IBD, TIP Economic Optimism, IMF meetings, and FOMC member Mester speaking at 12. So we might have a little bit of a reprieve as far as price action. Perhaps we get continuation of the downside, and we sure have the contraction, and in my opinion, to be able to do that. I think that right now the market being flat on a bank holiday, we look at contraction and then we look at expansion. So we're going to take a look at some levels here in just a second and go over that again. Wednesday, we do have PPI, core PPI month over month. We have FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. So just hands on your knees just in case. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move into the watch list. As far as earnings are concerned, there's nothing that I'm really taking this week, or excuse me, there's nothing that is reporting this week that I'm really interested in. But I am interested in taking some earnings trades for next week. And again, earnings trades are always risky, always. So please keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and crack into the watch list. So a couple things here right now, and as of tomorrow, I'm going to be watching Tesla again, of course. We're sticking with this one. The reason why today, and again, we got to do an honest recap. Today, we tried to take a trade to the upside, and we moved right into it around 224.50, moving right past that wick. And I went ahead and I was looking at a potential area to add as we moved in that pivot point, with a stop loss pretty much at that 224, 225 mark. I cut that trade, didn't really look for any move to the downside. And as you can see, the zone that we have set right here is where we continue to oscillate. So what we want to do as of now is we want to look at some of the hard levels. 222 is going to be one of the headliners as far as we want to see a candle close out of that. The second one is obviously this 221, and then the candles closing here at 219.75. And then we also have S1 at 218.15. But I think at this point tomorrow, my entry is going to be around 221, depending on where we open up. So if we gap up, that may change the mood to 25.50. If we end up gapping down, that's going to change the mood. We could see a move to the upside. And if we end up pushing anywhere below 218.50, based on the trend that I have available as of right now, it could be looking at a move to the, I don't want to say 205, but 205 is the only area that I really have in mind as far as Tesla is concerned. And it appears, as of today, the smaller, lower time frame trend right here. Again, one of the things that I want to also point out to you is I use EMAs, and there's sometimes where they don't mean much to me, and there's sometimes when they do. And when they do, they do. One, I see a lot of resistance here. Two, 3, 4. So I think that across anywhere up and above that EMA, wherever it might be tomorrow, if it's here at 226.80 or here at 228.40, that would allow me confirmation to take this to the upside. And that would also be a tap of downtrend. So that's where I'm going to be looking at taking Tesla. And again, gap fill to the upside if we end up rebounding. If we end up falling any further, then I'm going to stick with that price target that I gave you guys. Most likely looking at at least a 215 strike, or a move down to 215. I don't think that we hit 210 or 205 in one day, but all right. So that is Tesla. The next one we're going to move into here is Meta. All right. So there's nothing. Okay. Now I want to turn on extended hours. Boom. Do you see that? Didn't see that if you didn't look at extended hours, but if you are, there you go. How was your day as sold? Oh, rough, Yashin. I didn't really. I think I lost like a little bit of money. So, all right. So here's the deal, and it's easy. Okay. I know it sounds, I don't want to say it's easy, but I want to see, and this is actually wrong. I'd like to see a move above 135.65 and this pivot point here, but I am looking, right? I am looking to just get a candle close above that 135.60. And at that point, I would be looking to take Meta to the upside for what could end up being might end up being, and again, not on the daily, but on the 4 hour, a possible double bottom. But in the same breath, if we end up seeing a rejection of 135 tomorrow or a rejection of 135.65, that is again in range. So no matter what, we are in range. And so until we break that range, there is no continuation up or down. But one thing that we can conclude is this is after pre-market data, is that this is a solid retest. And so if we are going to end up moving back to the downside, it would more than likely be obviously below this wick, 131.81, and then 130 is right there. So that would be the next target to the downside for Meta. This one doesn't really have an A1 setup, but I will be watching it tomorrow because it still has potential to move lower. Next one that we got is the there we go. That makes more sense. Okay. So Meta, Tesla, PayPal. So PayPal today, I was watching the daily chart. This one plummeted, and I was a little bit preoccupied today, so I didn't really get to jump into it the way that I wanted it to or wanted to. But I did end up being able to catch a just a small put on it to the downside, not being able to really size into it again like I wanted it to. Um, August 28th, PayPal, $80 put for 228 was the one that I grabbed. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow, but we are at a support that's $84. So go here to the 4 hour and you guys can see we're getting really, really close. So watch for a gap down tomorrow to 83 or possibly 83.72. If we can move below that 83.40, then I would anticipate a move down to possibly even $80. Maybe not in one day, but definitely could see that happen. So break out of this bearish flag, just like we talked about on Sunday. So I'll be looking for continuation out of that flag. So okay, so let's go ahead, and if you guys want, you can start dropping your request in the chat. I know there's only a few of you guys in here, but if you guys want to go ahead and drop those requests, go ahead and do so. Nice. Okay, good job. All right, so last one is MRO. Okay. Now, again, we don't panic. So right now, as of right now, I have concluded that I will allow and have hedged myself on MRO down to 26.85. That is the last straw. I do have a put. I had to re-enter that put today. I thought we were going to end up seeing a nice bounce. That candle did not close bullishly, and we end up pulling back to the downside. But again, remember the previous weekly candle, okay? That is what the weekly candle looks like as of right now. So there has been really no move, nothing at all. So we're going to be continuing to watch for a push out of this solid green candle. And it could be a couple of weeks. We could wick down. Who knows? But eventually, I think with time and a couple of weeks, we should see a move here to the upside. So MRO, we're just going to practice patience and we're going to make sure that we stick to our stop loss. All right. So if you guys have requests, I will go ahead and take those now. Um, I need to, yeah, we need to make sure we do that. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, you can include those as well. All right, so let's take a look. Looks like the weekly is starting to spill over here. Uh, SPY, as of right now, and we can go ahead and actually look. I'm going to look at regular hours here. We're going to start fresh. $357, and this is 358.82. What am I? Okay, so here's what I am looking at here for SPY. All right, just keep this one super simple. Okay, so as of right now, you did end up pushing down and closing just below that floor of 161. So right here you can see bounces, lots of candle closes right here. Candle close, that's 361. So you end up holding below 361. And from what I can tell, obviously bank holiday, really weak price action, probably not what you want to see as far as continuation or making predictions off of that low volume can get crushed. But what I would say is that you did a bounce off of this S1, which is 585. So tomorrow, right, we want to set some benchmarks inside of this zone to the upside. If we end up reclaiming these areas, that would be an indication that we could be seeing a reversal, right? Okay. So there you go. Perfect. Right here, I would be looking for SPY anywhere above 363.15. Watch for a median retest at 366. If you continue to the downside, that's where you're actually going to be making new lows. And that's where I would go ahead and start looking at key levels down here to the downside. And one of those key levels is actually going to be 353. So I'd be looking at 353. Let me go double check that level. Yeah, 352.75 and 353. That is your floor here. And in fact, you can go ahead and check. There's that level. Then we can go down here to the hourly. Look at that level all the way across. Still actually are still in play. So 364.14, right around there, 363.85, but 364.15. The median right here, 365.80. You also have a small pivot point here, but I would say that the candle close in this bottom right here bullishly, that would be a sign that you can hold that level, continue back up to the upside. And then if you're going to make new lows, I would be looking at S1, but ultimately I'd be looking at 353.36 to the downside. And I'm going to leave that line right there just in case we end up continuing to the downside. So, all right. The next one that we got is Apple. Um, so this is just uh, not for sure, but I do see a little bit of a trend right here from your swing high. So here's what I'm thinking as of tomorrow. Of course, you bounce just at 368.75, and I had this little zone You seem to have fallen below it. So we'll see where we open up. If you open above or open up below this 368.70, then I would just go ahead and conclude that you're probably going to go ahead and tap this previous low. And based on the channel that I had drawn on Apple, there is a potential to go and see lows around 133 and 132. But this could end up being a descending triangle where you could see Apple pop up and hit around 144.80 as of tomorrow, or you could see another range bound day running that into resistance very choppily before giving you a rejection and possible move to the downside. So I think as of right now, looking at Apple, this is obviously we have that zone, but this is going to be the true zone that you're kind of wrapped up in until you break out of this area. There is no trend break. Like you don't have any trend that's going to be broken until you really get out of this range. So yeah, I would go ahead and I like that. As far as if you want to see continuation, 145.86, which is just clear. There's a gap there to the upside, and that would actually bring you back up to what appears to be trend 200-day moving average here in line with that as well. So did I miss? No, you didn't miss. You missed. Well, I just did SPY. But the Qs. So I've been watching the Qs, looking to see what this thing was going to do. Did we extend ourselves? All right. So I really this is tough. I'm actually going to call this either A, we just continue down where we've got another mark. So this is actually a key level. You hit 260, 650 and 260, 261, excuse me, 261.45 and 260. That's it. And I would obviously we want to mark those levels out. So right here and right here. That's where I would be looking. So yeah, I would go ahead and say if you break below 265.75, and really 265 period, that's where you're going to probably see a dip down to. And the first stop will be 260. We're going to call it 261.50 to the downside. So looking like we might end up seeing a little bit more continuation to the downside. There still is trend that we're paying attention to, but and also one thing to note is that we did end up closing that candle, right? We ended up closing that candle right on top of 266.15, so not quite totally out of a reversal range. There is still the possibility of some sort of reversal. So all right, so the Qs, Apple. Wait, did I do Apple? Yeah, I did Apple. Tesla done that already. Etsy. Um, Made some money on puts. I hedged myself against my calls. Also average out on them. Nice. I want to learn options. Just taking quick trades. So if you see Meta below VWAP, you know it's going down. Do you sell a call at the money? Yeah, Shin, no, I do not use VWAP. I have several different instances that'll make me take a trade. But for the most part, I actually I buy puts, right? So I'm actually purchasing them, not or and I'm not selling calls at the money either. So I mean, there's an option there, but So I haven't looked at this in a minute, so I'm going to take a look at it on. We're not going to do any trend off the bottom. Whatever trend is there is dead. Mm, that is not a good looking chart. So I think one would likely struggle to find trend in that area. Okay. So here's how, and this is just kind of how it looks to me. So you got two tough levels. Etsy 105.95 would be a gap fill option and the 200-day EMA right here. Anywhere below your gap fill, push below your gap fill, I'm going to go ahead and call for a move back down to what is likely going to be S1. Let me pull that up just a tad. There is also the possibility that we could see some sort of flag like this. So we closed like this. Maybe you see a gap up, maybe you see a flush back down, and maybe you see a springboard up and out of that area. I will take a chance or take a spot. Yeah, so I was actually right. That looks like your downtrend right there, right? So I would be either A, looking for a pop up above 111.50, and that would give you a resistance tap. And then obviously you want to break and hold above 115.35 psychological. And then to the downside, watch below 106.85, like I said. And then I'd be looking at a move to support based on how the overall market is set up and moving. So, all right. So, Amazon. All right. So, nice box, right? We like that. We like the definitive price action, definitive levels, right? And we got that. It looks like here on Amazon. Looks like as well there might be a little bit of this wedge action. So possibly look for a little pop down. 111. That's a good setup. So just a quick note here. Amazon falling wedge, right? I like that. Okay. So possible falling wedge here, 50% reversal would give you a run back up to around 115.85. So if you watch for a gap down, okay, specifically, I'm gonna set alerts on these trend lines. So when the price crosses them, I'll get an alert. Um, but that would likely you're in range. So as of right now, I can only tell you one of two things. Candle close bullishly with volume, right? Volume, right? That's how you break down. That's how you break down, right? That's how you break levels. That's not how you break levels, right? That's not how you really break levels. But that's what I would be looking for is a definitive strong candle, really. And you have 110, so this thing could just fade down to like 110. So we'll see where it opens up at. If by chance it opens at 110, I would absolutely be looking for a potential bounce. And here's the deal. Amazon back up above 112.38. Yeah, that's money. You can go ahead and watch for a 113.40 and then a move back up to 115.50. I don't want to say simple as that, but that's what I would be looking for. So pretty nice setup actually on Amazon. I actually really like that. All right, Costco. You guys have any more requests, make sure to drop those requests in there now. As soon as the requests stop, I'll go ahead and vamonos. All right, sorry, just looking at something really quick. Okay, so Costco, let's go look at the weekly first. Oof, that's a spicy meatball, dude. So let's go look for some confluences. There's one. All right, so this is how I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call 466.73 to the downside for Costco, and at that point, I'd actually be looking for a bounce. If and when you bounce, um, I don't really have anything for you as far as trend on this time frame. We can go to the hourly really quickly, but I can tell you this. That's your to the downside no area. You don't want to go any lower than that. And then, like a lot of your counterparts in the market, you'd want to go and break below today's low and pre-market lows around 462 in order to take that leg down. So watch for a potential retest or just a move below that 461. So it's a matter of preference, Yasin. Um, yeah, a matter of preference, risk. I don't think that I've ever sold a call, or I don't think I've ever sold a put ever. Just out of, I don't, it's just not what I do. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I've sold covered calls and it's a matter of preference, but it's more or less a risk management thing for me. So like obviously if I'm in something like PLTR, or like that's where I might take advantage of selling calls. Um, and that's essentially selling premium. You're selling that premium. Um, and of course you want that contract to expire out of the money, and you get that premium. But there's obviously adverse to that. uh, I just don't put and have a ton of money in the market right now, so it's not of interest to me to like hedge any positions. That's what I look at it more as like a hedge. So yeah, so if you sell a call, you can lose more, and yeah, you can end up in a hole depending on what your account, if you're on margin. So, all right, so let's look at JP Morgan. When in doubt, go with math. Okay, could be wrong, could be right. Don't know. Yeah, DJ. I wouldn't even. I don't even really. I don't mess around with that kind of stuff. Just not. It's a different form of investing that I've never really used for anything other than necessity. And again, I've never done anything with puts. I've sold a couple cover calls, but that's it. Yeah. So standard deviation channel right now shows JPM 102.50. Watch for 102.50. Now look back, right? Look at the historical data. So you are at a bounce level. Bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. All right. Let's see. There you go. I like that. Simply because. Okay. Um. Okay. So I see you right there. That's 98. So I would say that you have a 75% mark, right, of every box, right? That's going to be right around that 102 that I was talking about, 102.25, depending on the timing, maybe 101.50. The median here is going to be just below that. It's going to be right. I have it marked around 98.35, 98.50. And then the bottom is going to be around 91.80 to 92. I was gonna say 92.50. It looks like no 91.50 and 92.50 would be that kind of like little bounce area there. So yeah, for sure. If you can break below that 75% mark in the deviation channel, you could fall further. But remember, earnings is coming up, and you have from the last earnings, right? You have not done anything. You've not really. You're back. You're just below the price that you were earning. So I'm so confused trying to navigate the Discord. Um, all right then. Then let's do this. Okay. Let me see something really quick. All right, really quickly. All right, if you're new to the Discord, look, this is just how you navigate it. There's a lot. Go to how to sign up. Once you've got in, you're gonna click. Oops, not that one. Sorry. Choose role. You're gonna click on PotterStocks or Manny or Top Shelf, Rocket, whatever. This will be gone here shortly. This was a temporary thing. Um, Anything that you click on, obviously you can explore. So this is Top Shelf's trades. This is my channels. This is Manny's channels. Obviously, they're self-explanatory here. Here's some of the admins, top traders interact and post ideas here. Here's the trading floor. So again, kind of just clicking. If you have any trade ideas, gains to post. This is where I interact with everybody, right? As I'm live trading. Um, these guys are on YouTube right now. But once you click on live trading, like right here. If anybody didn't mute their mics or mute the computers right now, there's a random guy talking in their house. But you click on that, that's how you join the live channel. There is flow below you, and again, you just click on it and you scroll up and down. Each one of them is its own little forum. So anyway, let's get back to it. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown. I'll make a video for it. I've been meaning to do that for a long time. So understood, Yashin. All right. So anyway, that's JP Morgan. Remember, earnings is coming up here. Wait, did I make a decision on breaking this up into pay by admin thing? No, we have not. So we just lowered the price. The price is lowered now. We had some discrepancies, which I will discuss as soon as I know for sure that things are set in stone. And again, I'm just not one to speak too soon. I want to make sure that things are as they are, and that's it. So I'll let you guys know. There will be a change if that does happen. And no, we don't. We don't and never wanted to be separate, but unfortunately there was some call for it. Not by the members, but just some issues underneath. So we'll talk about that more. But anyway, so looking at we're gonna focus on just stocks right now. But as of right now, and plus, even if you wanted to sub for me, it was like $45. It's 65, so it's not much more. Plus, you get way more stuff. Um, anyway, so pre-market lows bounced off of 221.86. This is a floor right here. It's a floor across the board, right? 219.71. So you actually have kind of like a lot of floors right here. So you have 219.60 and this floor right here that you bounce off of 221. So you're getting close to support. So I would not anticipate just a completely smooth ride down. But I could potentially see either a break tomorrow, and I would go ahead and say I would say definitively 234.61 and 243. What time is it right now? Hold on. Um, Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. Just got a phone call. Okay. All right. Anyway, all right, we're gonna go ahead and close this down, guys. I kind of have a little, not an emergency. I gotta go grab something. Borderline emergency. I gotta do it quickly. So anyway, Netflix right now, it is just in range. That's it. Get out of Netflix. Downside, go get that. I would say you're gonna head down to 205. Simple as that. If you move to the upside, I've got a target of 260, and then I've got a target of 265. It's as simple as that. Get out of this range. Right now, I would bank on this thing because it's spent so much time trying to move up. There's still a good solid chance that this thing actually ends up moving down. And I would take it down to that 205, 203.75 level. So it's 2 a.m. here in Portugal. Shout out Portugal, man. Nice job, Yasin, being up, grinding. All right, that's it. I don't see any more requests, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I did not realize I forgot something. I gotta go grab that right now. Tomorrow morning, hopefully we see a little bit more volume. If we don't, guess what we do? We don't trade. Today, we hardly traded. We took a little bit of a loss, but that's it. And that's okay. We chalk it up to the game. So tomorrow morning, remember, not every day is gonna feed you, but this is one of those things where if you wait, the longer we see contraction, the more chance that we have. I was going to say contraction. The more contraction we have, the more likely you will see no, not more likely, you will see an expansion, which means a move either up or out. So, anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to go check out the new TikTok videos if you guys don't mind. That helps the algorithm. Otherwise, peace. Have a wonderful evening.